We're talking Kanye West controversy for his fashion show, and Diddy tells black people not to vote. All that and more on Black Hollywood Lives this week.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live this week.
What's up, everybody? I'm just gonna do a little shoulder real quick. Come on, Courtney, get your shoulder on.
I feel it, yeah.
Courtney's slow with the shoulder moves right now.
I feel it. Your love is fading. I feel it.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Black Hollywood Live this week. We got that contract.
I don't know why you just gave me like an instructional workout.
Little workout moves, right?
Welcome to Black Hollywood Live.
Right. Well, listen, they worked on that video, so hey, I'm trying to get my workout on too.
Thanks,
Go ahead,
Tiana by herself.
Tiana by herself, right?
We should release that.
We should.
That's DVD, workout DVD.
The BHL workout video? I like that. I'm feeling that. Okay, there you go, Courtney. You getting the shoulders. All right, there you go. Now you lifting the weights. All right, everybody, welcome to the show today. We got DJ Jesse J.
What's up?
Courtney Stewart.
What's up, y'all?
And I'm, of course, Daryl Christian. Thank you for joining us today. Is this our first week back in September? Yeah. September.
Last week was the first, wasn't it? The second? What's today? The 8th?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. It's like the
You
second
know, it
week.
started. But it's like,
I feel like it.
yeah, because
First
it's like
week that
after Labor
counts.
Day. So it's like, oh, summer is sort of done.
Summer is sort of done, but what does that really mean? It's not done for us.
Not in California.
Not in California.
No.
Don't mean shit.
I still got invited to a pool party this weekend. So
For
it's
real.
like,
Me too, boo.
so it ain't over yet.
And we're going tomorrow on Saturday.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well, we got some great topics today.
Sure do.
So,
Things to talk about.
Really excited to talk
are you
about
really excited about it, Jesse?
Yeah.
I am. As a matter of fact,
pumped.
let's get into it.
Let's get right
so
into it.
Kanye West, we
Put these
came
on
in
my
with Kanye West because apparently he done had a casting call, right? And on this casting call, it said multiracial women only, no makeup. Well, that casting call got delivered amongst the crowd waiting in line, done got released amongst Twitter, and Twitter done had a ball. They didn't really have a ball. They were very upset about this because they basically were trying to figure out what that exactly means.
Yeah.
So Kanye West wants black features, but he don't want black women. What do you guys think? Did you take that tone from this casting call? Courtney, you're always talking about casting calls.
I mean, I will say that, like, upon just reading it, I was like, oh, come on, dude. Are you really? Because it does seem as if he means not just a black girl. Like,
So-
you got to be something else.
Was the word multiracial? Is that what you weren't feeling?
I mean, I didn't say I wasn't feeling it. I said it. I understand why it appears that essentially it sounds like, okay, you looking for light skins.
Right.
So I understand
Without
the
saying.
assumption. But I mean, I saw the show. That obviously wasn't the case. I don't
Right.
believe.
Like, it was like, we want multiracial women, like multiracial. Or
So
was
I just think it was. I don't know. Like, I don't know. And then his response to it was just he didn't care. Basically.
Yeah, I mean,
he
you have the
basically
response?
said
No, but
Okay,
told
so he
Vogue
said
gives no fucks. Like
to
10,000
Vogue, he
people.
said, sorry you were offended. He said 10,000 people that showed up didn't
Weren't
have a
offended.
problem with it. How do you
trying to
he
get
said, how do you word the idea you want all variations of black? He said, how do you word that exactly? So he's saying that
All
his
types
word,
of women?
Then you
multicultural.
just say women, like beautiful women, and show up. Like, I think that to pretend like there isn't like a tinge of. I mean, he didn't say biracial. He didn't say mixed girls. Like, so he didn't say anything necessary. So I get it, but at the same time, I just think that there could have been a better way to say it.
Well, I mean, okay, so when I first saw it, honestly, I could see why people are upset by it because it does not, when he explained what he was saying, variations of black women, I was thinking, well, there's plenty of different words like
Yeah,
you
you just said variations of black women.
When I saw multicultural, I'm thinking, okay, you could be a black girl who's mixed. You could be a chocolate black girl. You could be a Spanish girl. You could be a Persian girl. You could be multicultural. You could be mixed with variations of things, Asian and black, whatever that may be.
I think
but I would have never pegged chocolate sister off of that.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, I think, and that's what he sort of denied by not sort of copping to that.
Right.
By saying what he did say,
Right.
it appears based on, and that's not to say that that's what he meant or that's what he came from, but living in the country and the world that we live in, like, it didn't expressly sound, that's not the immediate word you see
Right.
when you are assuming you're actually okay with a brown skin
Right.
chocolate girl.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
do we see like so Kanye West is an artistic person, you know, he always
Absolutely.
is putting his art out
Yeah.
there. So for him to hold a casting call, what if he was to do, you know, he's always his runway isn't only going to be just a runway show, it's
Yeah.
going to be
Sure.
It's
It's like
performance
an
art.
event. Yeah.
so
it's
if he was to do a
performance art, yeah.
casting call for white women only, like
What's funny you brought that up, because when I first saw it, I immediately laughed and was like, oh, Lord, Kanye, you about to get it right now. Like,
yeah.
I knew he was going to get it for it. But as crazy as he is, I would like to always believe that there is some element of intellect in him, because I don't think he's a stupid person. I just think he's kind of crazy. So after the first reaction, my next one was like, okay, well, what is he doing? Because
Right.
I know he works with that Italian lady that's insane.
Yeah.
That says she's a black woman too sometimes. Like, it's
Yeah,
she
does, yeah.
goes through some weird
She
ish.
does,
But so I was like, maybe it's some sort of out, because he, like I said, it's not just runway with him, it's actual performance art. So I was like, is he gonna do something with the hues of all his beiges, and like all of the beiges are gonna be against the wall,
Well,
and he only wants them, like, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
So like that's yeah.
kind of what it seemed like a little bit in reference to, because they said even like some of the clothing, like Kim was sporting some beige.
Well, that's
outfits
all
that
he
were-
can make
That's
is
what he-
beige.
yeah.
So beige and like dark.
if you the
some
same
army
skin
green,
tone as Kim
right.
Kardashian, come on through. That's what we looking for, Dick and Down. That's what he should have did.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he responded though, because he usually doesn't. I just felt like he doesn't even care. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised he even made a statement to Vogue.
But there were some, semi-chocolatey girls in the
Yeah, some
lineup,
chocolatey girls,
and
yeah.
whatever. So I guess in the
I
end,
don't
the
believe it.
product. You don't believe what?
I don't believe that Kanye doesn't want any sisters up in there.
Well, that's
Yeah.
great, but at the same time,
Maybe he had his
Use a different word.
his
you're a
sister
smart guy.
casting another
Like
day.
you know what that sort of connotes by saying that up front. But you can do what you want because you're grown and
Yeah,
whatever.
well, maybe he did it so people be talking about
Possibly.
the line.
But
I don't
now
put nothing
everybody's
past
talking about why the
anybody
hose was
anyway.
passing out and it started 4 hours late and everything else.
But everybody was there. I was like, man, I want to be in that crowd.
Well, a lot of people left.
I've been trying to sit up in
So,
that crowd.
and a lot of buyers and stuff were kind of pissed off and sad to see the girls fainting and stuff. So, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, we
Well.
talked about it, so apparently it was a success.
yeah.
Something that was
And it'll
not a
sell.
success is Lena Dunham's character, because this girl went to, if you guys have been reading, so she went to this event and she sat at the same table
It was
as
at the Met Ball
Oh,
in
yeah,
May.
yes.
Yeah.
Odell
Odell Beckham.
Odell
Beckham.
Beckham Jr.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And she felt uncomfortable because in her mind, she was clearly attracted to Odell and found him handsome, and felt some sort of way as he glanced over her and didn't introduce himself. And in her mind, Princess Lena Dunham, queen of HBO, we'll give her that in her right maybe,
She's doing her thing.
felt a lot of different emotions when he didn't look at her. She felt worthless. She referred to herself as a slutty pig, a non-slutty pig who won't have sex with him. Just a lot of different things that come from deep down inside that she wanted to share with the world. Twitter dragged her, because they were basically like, bitch, no one's checking for you. Like, it's not like who knows what he's going through in his life. You're over here getting upset. So Lena took a moment to sit and think about it, and she issued an apology, in which she basically said, you know what, maybe I was a little bit in my feelings personally. No shade to Odell. He was probably a really nice guy, and I'm sorry that I even voiced my opinion. Girl, this isn't girls. Like,
right.
And she gave it like during an interview.
Yeah, it was with
Amy
it was
Schumer.
with Amy Schumer.
And I was
wrong
just-
person also.
But I was just, girl.
Well,
like,
I gotta go. I just because it was just so crazy to me when I saw it that I had to actually
she
pull the
really
quote.
went
She said,
in.
she said, this is what she said. The vibe was very much like, do I want to fuck it? Is it wearing yep, it's wearing a tuxedo. I'm going back to my cell phone. She said that basically like they caught eyes and that and that she felt like, like you were saying, that there was going to be some type of connection, and then he kind of was just like, you look at somebody and then you're not interested, but you feel bad that you cut eyeballs with them, because it happens to all of us, and you be like, let me go back to my cell phone. Did Jesse call me?
Like, girl, maybe he just saw you, thought he knew you, maybe he thought you were someone's publicist, like,
Or maybe he didn't think about you at all,
Right.
and that is totally within his right to do. He doesn't know you. You aren't friends. You don't hang out. He had no obligation to shake your hand, say hello, think you're sexy. None of that. He could just exist in his own man space by himself, and it could be absolutely no commentary on your femaleness, your sexuality, your hotness. Like, all of that is in your own head, and it was fucked up that you give that as an interview, judging somebody else and coming up with all this shit that makes no sense. And you sound crazy. You sound crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you sound insane.
Trust me, that'll be a storyline on Girls next season.
I feel like that's like a really like kind of look at you, girl, like.
Well, even when she said it was so amazing, because it was like he looked at me and he determined I was not the shape of a woman by his standards.
Whoa.
I mean, it was like, how do you get all that from just a look? You know what I'm saying? He could have been thinking about something that happened yesterday.
Maybe he looked at you and was scared to say anything because he felt crazy white girl as soon as he looked into your eyes. So he was like, let me not say shit to this girl.
But apparently she has a history of these type of statements, because she made, I guess, an interview with Drake or something like that, where she had, I guess she was doing an interview with Interview Magazine, was it? And they asked her who she'd like to interview, and she said Drake. And then I guess they somehow it was reached out to Drake, and he never called back, and it went into her insecurities.
Girl, just say you insecure and don't reveal all the tea that you feel on the inside, because that just was too much. And I just, But go Odell for not saying nothing back.
Well, he did.
He just said a little bit, but he didn't like go in.
Yeah.
He didn't drag her.
He said, I don't have enough information to really speak on it. We'll see what happens from there. I never want any problems with anybody in this world. That was real general. That was real PC, Odell.
It was real general.
That was real PC.
Because he totally could have dragged the hell out of her. But the funny one, I liked all the memes that were popping up.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were great. And then they showed a meme, because the comment that she made, like, and he saw I was in a tuxedo, and that's not the kind of woman or whatever that he likes. And the meme has a picture of Zendaya in her tuxedo hugged up with Odell. And I was like, see, bitch, you don't even know. Like, how are you going to do that?
And then they keep saying it's like white privilege, too.
Of course. Because you gonna give a whole interview about what somebody else is thinking in their brain, like, and not just like, oh, I don't think he liked me, or oh, I don't think he thought I was that cute because he didn't say anything else. Like, you elaborated, you like detailedly figured out he don't like your shape as a woman, or the fact that you are wearing a tuxedo.
Right.
Like, girl, that was...
you read a page of his diary or something.
Exactly.
Spilling the tea on Andy Cohen.
Single white female.
Seriously, like, I know I be having stuff written all over my face, but them details ain't that clear. Like, that was crazy.
What would a guy typically get from reading your face, Courtney? I'd like to know that.
It depends on who the guy is.
Right.
Oh, that's true. That might be true.
It depends on who it is. Odell would get some real positive vibes. But anyway, moving on.
Odell play football, right?
Oh, no,
Does he,
too.
Odell?
Yeah.
Speaking of football season's coming amongst us, and week 1 is about to be here, right?
It is, yeah.
Show
It's upon us.
And you guys can, we've been talking about it all season long. DraftKings.com. We have a special going on. You guys can play fantasy football, get your favorite people or whoever you think. They may not be your favorites, but they may be really good, so you can get them on your team. I learned all about this yesterday on Black Hollywood Live is the Beat. And as you put your team together, DraftKings.com has this really special thing week 1. You can win $5 million.
That's what's
week
up.
1.
I'm down with
Just
that.
in week 1.
You ain't got to like wait it all the way out the whole season and all
How
that.
many weeks in
It's
football
week
is there?
1.
A lot, because
It's
I know it goes to like
months. They
February.
keep going to
so
the
imagine
next year.
just week 1, you can win $5 million, so you can win so many more. But you guys got to use the code BSports on DraftKings.com for
BSports.
fantasy football this season.
Check it out.
Do it. It's worth it.
I'm going to go look for Odell. What team he play for?
That's the only one I would put on there.
All right. Well.
Why you laughing, Dale?
Because your
What team
face.
you play for?
That face was real
Why you
funny.
ain't trying to tell nobody?
Because I don't want you stalking. I don't want you stalking Odell on his Instagram.
You be
I ain't
out
no
here.
crazy.
You be out
You know what I'm
here,
saying?
Dario.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna be stalking him on Instagram. Who I look like? I don't stalk nobody.
You only get stalked.
She be following him on the fashion.
Don't wish that on me. I don't need no more stalkers in my life.
Listen, I've seen a couple of comments that have been put on our show. You got a couple.
That doesn't constitute stalking. Thank you for all of your wonderful comments that you guys make under the show. We appreciate them greatly.
Daryl does too.
I do too. I'm talking about one in particular, though, and you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, anyway, so we're gonna move on since Daryl doesn't want me to have Odell apparently because
Lena might fight you.
Because I'm not good enough and he might not like my shape as a woman.
I would love you and Lena to have a table discussion.
Oh, me too.
Oh my God, I would love to have a conversation with Lena Dunham. Like, and I've wanted to have a conversation with her since she did the interview about why she didn't have any black people on Girls in her first season. Like, I would love to talk to her. Though I actually was fine with what she did and what her answer was, but I thought we'd have a great conversation. Somebody else that had a great conversation this week was Donald Trump.
Really?
I mean, I guess you could. I mean, you know, I'm just trying. Whatever.
Interesting.
Okay, so Donald Trump had a conversation with some black people, as he likes to call them, his blacks, up in Detroit at the Great Faith International Ministries Church, and this was like his first big like I'm gonna talk to my blacks,
talk to the people
situation. So he showed up, and he came instead of speaking all politically incorrect and off the cuff, he came with some prepared remarks. And he wanted you guys, being the blacks, to know that he's not a racist. And he said a few interesting things, and I'll read a couple quotes for you guys from his dissertation to the congregation. He said, quote, "Our nation is too divided. We talk past each other, not to each other. And those who seek office do not do enough to step into the community and learn what is going on. They don't know. They have no clue. I'm here today to learn so that we can together remedy injustice in any form. I believe we need a civil rights agenda for our time. I fully understand the African American community has suffered from discrimination and that there are many wrongs that still must be made right, and they will be made right." So basically, that was like his like conciliatory remarks regarding his previous remarks to the white people about the black people. Back when he told the white people that the black people ain't got shit to lose, so they might as well come on because they shit sucks. So he sort of softened it up and said, yeah, your shit still sucks. You know, there's discrimination and some shit ain't right, but I'm gonna make it right. And for anybody that's confused, because, you know, we obviously don't have his like job history as we would for most politicians. We don't know what he's really voted on and that kind of thing. But what we do know is that Trump was sued twice by the Justice Department for discriminating against black people in all of his apartment buildings in New York. We know that a former business associate said he believes, or a former business associate in the book that was written about Trump back in the 90s was talking about Trump. He had made some disparaging remarks against Jews and black people, and one of the things that he said about black people was that he believes that they have a lazy trait. So he didn't really address that. So I don't know if he told Detroit, like, y'all still lazy, maybe y'all need to get it together. Like, he didn't really say anything about it, so I don't know if he still believes that or not, but maybe, you know, you're not lazy enough to go vote for him, so maybe, you know, that could work out. He also was a part of helping send those 5 guys to prison in New York back in the day. For y'all that don't know about that, go ahead and look it up. And he is also obviously the leader of the birther movement with Obama, and he said that has no racial implications, and he had no idea why people thought that that was any kind of racial anything. He would have done that with anybody, apparently, except he ain't did it with nobody, no president before then. So I don't really know where that came from. But just so you know, he reaching out to the black community. He went to the church, you know, he gave a little debate back situation with, what's his name from Today's Show, about some foreign policy, and he's trying, guys. He wants your vote.
So here's my question for you, because you know when I saw all that BS, I had to stop reading it because I was like, first of all, even when I was reading it, he didn't really give any solutions. He pointed out some problems, but there was no solutions given. All right,
not a one.
So let's start there. But then if he came to LA, right, which I'm sure he will. Will you go see him just to see what he has to say? Because I sat in my place and thought about it. I said, you know what, I might go check out to see what he would say in person.
So it's not like
it's not
edited,
a black
you're
event.
seeing like
or it's just a campaign event in LA.
Like you want to witness it live.
I want to witness it live. I actually want a black event live though. I don't need like the general population event. I want him to come to like, you know,
if he did
Crenshaw.
a black event in LA, I would go.
That's what I'm talking about. A black
I would be
event.
very interested to see what happens. Because if he did a regular event out here, I feel like it would just be the same
it's gonna be the
lip
same,
service.
BS.
Because he's bold as hell in front of them, but when he gets in front of anybody else, he's not so bold. Just like he wasn't so bold in Mexico. But that's another story. So I would be interested to see what he says. And you know, I'm gonna keep it all the way real. I'm trying to give Trump some sort of benefit of a doubt.
I mean, me too.
And at every turn, it turns back into a fail. So
Here's the biggest thing that's hard for me to wrap my head around everything with him is that I interviewed him literally about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite interviews. I can honestly say that he was a nice guy. We had banter. I mean, even when the camera wasn't on, we were bantering. And I left when he left that interview. I left thinking like, you know what, Donald Trump is. They say all these things about him. This is before running for president. They say all these things about him. He's a harsh man, all this stuff, but he was just the nicest guy. Now, granted, I'm interviewing him, but I've seen him in interviews where he's not so nice to people either. So it's still hard for me to believe that this is all still true. I still want to believe that he's
Well,
bunking.
I do actually
or like
believe-
right before the election, he's gonna be like, "Hey, y'all, I was just playing." Psych.
Well, I still believe some of it is performance for the crowd that he has attracted. So, like, do I necessarily believe he is at his core a racist, like, horrible man? Probably not. But I think that he knows there's enough of our population that believes certain things,
Yeah,
so
and he
he's
caters to
feeding that, and
yeah.
that's what he's.
I
But
can
to
give
me,
it
that
that.
makes you more disgusting.
Yeah.
Because if
You're
you
building-
actually,
you're adding to that hate.
Yeah, you're adding to it, and you're in a position where you could elevate, and you're
Yeah.
choosing to dig graves.
Yeah.
So I don't.
And it's not changing any mindsets. It's only making them worse.
It's not. It's making it worse, honey. And
then you have a platform to go. You have a platform. You go to Detroit, and it sounds like you just copy and pasted.
You gave lip service.
Commentary off a Black Lives Matter message forum.
Yeah, he gave lip service.
For some
Well, they were
idea.
even trying to say that basically it was the same white speech that he gave. He just kind of tweaked
changed
it to
it.
make it black, like you're saying. You know, just changed it, tweaked it, a couple words.
He tweaked a lot more just because he wasn't quite as harsh and confrontational about the crap that you're going through and basically calling you shit and whatnot. He wasn't going to do that in front of the black folks. But, you know, whatever. Good luck, Donald Trump.
Good luck.
I mean, good luck to all of us because Lord knows it's a mess out there.
I wish you
it's
would
a
go
hot
on The
mess.
View.
I would love to see
Just with
talk.
Whoopi and Joy.
He's going to have to.
Yeah.
I think they're going to.
I know that's such a
like been a
random,
thing, but like I
No,
think.
but that would actually be good. I'd just like to see Whoopi would.
I
Just
think it's
Whoopi
going to
and Joy.
happen.
Like,
Just
that's
Whoopi
it.
and Joy. We need one like
All right,
balance.
what's your
Paula.
name? Paula. And she can sit on one side by herself.
Or
I
I
would
would take Jedediah. What's her name? I would take
Which
her.
one is that?
Who?
The
Little
one.
country girl?
No, you know, not the white, the blonde, the
Candace Cameron?
No, Jedediah, the
Oh.
one that came with Sonny.
Right.
Oh.
Because she's actually super smart, conservative, like, and will come, but she
Yeah, she will.
doesn't
You're
buy
right.
into the. So she would be a good, like, because
She would.
Candace would get a little meek
Yeah,
and not
Candace
really
can't.
go for it. But
Just
I feel like
talk
she would
about
answer
Jesus.
hard. Yeah.
Right.
And Whoopi won't want to go in on her.
Right.
Where
That's true.
Whoopi will go in on Paula.
Well, because you know, Rosie went in on the Jesus thing and got demonized for real.
Yeah,
like
she
you
did.
can't come hard like that
No.
on a girl that's just trying to be, about the Lord.
Right.
Anyway, we'll talk about something else. Something positive in the
Wait,
atmosphere.
pause,
I don't know
y'all.
why that's
I gotta
funny.
break this right now. Did you guys see Mary J. Blige in The View's music video?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Wait, I don't have no cup to throw no shade.
That was just all the shade. Go ahead. What
Hey,
happened?
I mean, it was real
Yeah.
cute. The View got like 12 hosts now. Like, it's real cute. Keep doing what y'all do. If y'all ever need somebody else, I'll come visit too, because I love it still.
You
I
have hit a
still watch
low and you
it.
got
And
Joy Behar like.
And I ain't mad. Mary, get that check.
Yo, that's the
Hey.
only.
Get that check.
Get
Mary.
that check. And
You in the
Mary-
middle of a divorce. Get that check.
She in the middle
Mary.
of the divorce? Well,
Get that check.
they might make it work.
They might.
And she about to go on tour with Max.
She about to go on tour and release a new album? Yeah.
Oh, Mary. ain't
Even though
got
I'm
it.
not that excited about Mary's
New album.
I ain't really been excited
But
about
the
Well, no, I hate
about,
to say,
I ain't been
God,
excited about
I'm
a Mary
sorry,
album
I'm
in
sorry
like
to say this.
10 years.
I hate to say this because I don't want to put this on nobody, but Mary, if she's getting a divorce, maybe this album's going to be real good because, sad Mary, not that I wish sad
No,
Mary
that's
upon
true,
nobody,
but that's what people were
But
supposed
sad
to
Mary,
yeah.
my life, Listen,
Yeah,
that's
my
still
life
on
is
rotation.
still, my life
Still on rotation.
and 411 are still the best.
And that was on Happy
ever.
Mary.
So,
She makes good music when she's unhappy because she be telling them stories.
But you assuming she unhappy because she getting a divorce.
Right.
Oh,
She
that's
might
true.
be getting
You're
her
right.
life.
You're right. You're right.
Okay.
Is Mary on your phone? Is that Mary?
Mary, come.
Mary. Put
Hey,
on
girl.
speaker.
Hey. Anyway, so we're going to.
And we have not been drinking today, I swear.
Not at all, but kind of wish I was.
High off of life today.
High off of life. Oh, okay. And I'm also high off of art about mental health.
I love this art.
Because I actually think this is a really dope story. So over there across the pond, there's, more of us people of colors. All over the world, y'all. We everywhere. So there's a young woman by the name of Nicole Crystal Krenzel. She's 24 years old. And she was like, you know what? Like, we don't really deal with mental health in the people of color
Black community.
communities
We don't talk
the
about
way
it.
that we should. She's like, I want to do something. I want to do something about it. And she's an artist also. And she basically wants people to know, especially young people of color, to know it's okay to not be okay. So she put together this art exhibition that just explores the current state of Black mental health called Unmasked Women. And what she did, she literally went on Twitter and just sought out different young artists. Every artist that she selected, she sat down with, had coffee with, and really wanted to get to know them, know their own struggles and sort of why they're doing the art that they're doing. And so they put together this really cool exhibition that actually happened over the weekend. And any proceeds that they got from the event, because they had spoken word artists and poetry and music and all of this beautiful art. They had photography, painting, all kinds of different art. And she basically gave proceeds to an organization that supports mental health in the Black and brown community. And so, there's lots of statistics out there about mental health in general. And even in America, we don't support mental health nearly as well as we should. But as far as African Americans are concerned, they're 10% more likely to report having serious psychological distress than non-Hispanic whites, and much less likely to seek help. It's a cultural thing of mistrust of the medical profession, which comes from a very specific place, because they used to use us as experiment dummies, guys. So
And it's also a thing of just kind of, it's taboo in your household. It's almost like with therapy, it's I've gone to see a therapist, and I remember for the longest time, even in my household, it was you don't talk about it,
Yeah, but that in itself is still rooted in our history and what we believed was when we went for help in certain places,
Right.
and it turned out
That's
not
true.
to be help.
Right.
So I think that there's deeper elements of that, but it extends in all. And it's not just exclusive to Black families.
No,
but,
but
at the same time, Black people in general going to the doctor, they did a study where they think even children that are Black and are expressing problems with pain are less likely to be helped in the same way as a white child. So because they'll give you a pain meter or whatever,
Right.
that the kids be ew, and it's happy faces, how much pain are you in and whatever. And they are less likely to treat Black kids until they're on the higher end of pain than they are white children. Yeah. And that's with Black women and white women and Black men and Black men. So white men. So it's kind of scary, but Ms. Nicole is tackling that. You guys can actually, since the exhibition actually happened over the weekend, you can still check out the art and the artists online. You can go to www.un-masked.com, and you can actually see a lot of the art and
it's really
find the artists.
I
followed so many of the artists after seeing all of that. So.
My favorite was, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, but Kier's art. She had the woman peeling off her face, and behind the face, the first face was a smiley face, and then behind the face was her crying.
Yeah.
And then Michaela.
Yeah.
She had that image. It was a beautiful image of a Black woman with all these colors on it. It was,
Solange, wasn't it?
Was it Solange?
Wasn't it Solange? Wasn't Solange one of the images? It looked like Solange.
This one she had a natural
I don't
short
remember
hair.
seeing somebody that was actually
hair.
Solange, but
It looked like Solange?
maybe.
And it was all the bright colors.
The first one.
You're talking about the on the. I don't know that
I don't know if that was Solange, but I can see how you thought that though. I can see that.
Because at first I didn't
you make
think
me
so.
want to look back at
Yeah,
it.
me
And
too.
then I looked at, but then I
Everybody should
love
check it
this
out, though.
picture right
this
here
picture
with
was
the
dope.
braids.
Yeah, that was cool. And that was, I think that was
Everything.
Kazumu Juliana, who was taking photographs of Black women in their hair and different way hair contributes to our identity and history. And another one that was awesome was Heather Agayapong. I'm not sure how to say that, but she did a whole photography series where she, there's a West African goddaughter of Queen Victoria that came to live in England in the 19th century at a young age, and she did these like photography of like juxtaposing. Like it was just some really dope, smart stuff. Made me feel like, dang, yo, I gotta think some more. Like these artists just be coming up with some amazing stuff. But definitely go online, check that out. And if you're not okay, it's okay to not be okay, and reach out and try to find some help resources.
It's true. It's all
around
about getting
you.
Mental health is important,
Because help is important, for sure.
All right. So all you got for us, Courtney?
That's it.
All right, cool. Well, we're going to move on to our EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
Well, I thought segregation was over at universities and at schools.
Just kidding.
But apparently it isn't.
Just kidding.
If you go to Cal State, according to some people. Well, I don't know if you guys saw this story, but basically Cal State University is experiencing some controversy, we'll say, because they have a program now which is called the Halisi Scholars Black Living Learning Community, which is basically established for students interested in issues or concerns that they've had in the black community living on campus by offering an opportunity to connect with the faculty and peers. Well, this group sent a letter, which is also part of the Black Student Union there, and they were concerned about how black students were being treated on campus. So what they wanted to do was propose that there would be separate housing for students who felt like they were being, either bullied or they were being, minor racist attacks that were happening to them, or just a variety of different things like insensitivity towards racial issues at the campus. So they proposed that there would be a separate housing for students that were kind of experiencing that. So this is what they said. Black students at Cal State LA have been and still are consistently made the targets of racist attacks by fellow students, faculty, and administration. These attacks come in many forms. Some are more overt and some are very subtle. Racially insensitive remarks and microaggressions by professors and students create a learning environment that is not conducive to the overall learning atmosphere. So the president of the university got a hold of this and decided, hey, this is a great idea. They were saying 20 rooms separately that they were putting together for the students, the black students that they felt like, wanted to just have this separate housing. Well, there was a conservative group that is calling this segregation. They're saying they were putting up pictures and things saying that this is back to 1950s when white people were segregated against in schools. And it's this whole thing that's happening right now at Cal State University because of this separate housing for black students. What do you guys feel about that?
Why are we here?
I feel like, Courtney, you have a lot to say.
No, I mean, because I really thought about it, and I understand the desire for it. I don't think it solves anything, which is why I don't like it.
Okay.
And whereas I roll my eyes at the conservative group, like if we were white and we did it, it would if you were white and you did it, you wouldn't be doing it for the same reason the black kids are doing it. And so that argument is bunk. But at the same time, okay, I went to an all primarily white institution. I think the black population was 7% or even trying to be 7% at the time. And we had what was called the Black House on campus, which was basically the Department of African American Student Affairs. And in that building, we had anything the Black Student Union had an office there, the Black Theater Group had an office there, and you could go study there and whatever. So I think, and we had to fight. Actually, I think we was just signing petitions last year because they were trying to get rid of it and call it the Multicultural Center and open it for everybody and get rid of just having the Black House. And that was a big deal for us, especially as alumni. That space saved us when we were struggling and having to deal with whatever. There was somewhere we could all go. We had meetings there when racist crap was happening on campus. You knew you could go in there and always find a friendly face.
Right.
So I think that sort of element is important on any campus where the population of Black and Hispanic students and things like that is very small. But to house separately, I don't really know how that. I mean, because when you first started describing it, you're saying there's programs, and so you can be and make these relationships with professors and all. I think all of that is important. But saying that this is only the housing for Black people, to me, is not.
It breeds something odd. It breeds something odd in today's generation because it's just like we shouldn't be in that place where we're doing that. What the things that they complained about should be more so that we're looking at the school and the teachers,
right? And who you're letting in as your students to, obviously you need to have a variation of cultures and backgrounds at your school. So I was actually surprised because I was like Cal State. I thought
it would be
I was
more
like Cal
diverse.
State would be way more diverse. That's what I was most surprised about. So I mean, they said even similar housing type of situations with like just more like black oriented housing also takes place at University of California, Berkeley, and at Stanford. So some of these.
I mean, and maybe conceptually it's a similar idea of what I was just talking about. It just also is a dorm space.
Yeah.
And I guess technically when I was in school, like there was an unsaid black dorm, so to speak, but it wasn't really a black dorm. It was like everybody tried to get into this specific dorm in this area called the Plex. Like, so there was a lot of athletes and stuff in that one. So it sort of drew that. But I mean,
like foreign exchange students had their own section, and I get that because they're coming into a whole different
and they do it for academics too, like certain scholars.
Yeah.
If you got a scholarship and you were a certain choir, certain things, I could see it. When I first read it, I have to say I was kind of on the fence about both because there's one side to me that I'm like, well, if they're being basically harassed and attacked by certain people on campus, and that's their experience, then. Yeah, I mean, you feel more. You want to go around people where you feel safe, a safe place for you. But on the flip side, I'm like, that's not the real world.
But then it's like different religions would start requesting, like, okay,
right. Then it's going to open up a whole other.
And it's like, okay, well now everybody's going
to say, well, I can't deal with this, so let me go back to just my people and my group and over here.
I
would like to know what the harassment.
The Black House thing.
Yeah, and I would like to see, like, in terms of like the harassment and the front, like, is it? In a living situation, are black kids getting arrested for being accused of stealing shit in living situations?
Well,
are they
remember the other kid that dormed with the two white boys, and what was it about the bike?
Oh, where they put a bike lock on his neck and like all of that. Like, is it that kind of thing? Like, or if it's just, I mean, if it's general, right? Like, to me, that's the world. So you do have to learn how to deal with it. And I don't think necessarily completely segregating yourself.
Yeah.
It's not reality.
Because part of that's sort of the college experience. Because if you want more of that, then you go to a HBCU.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think I can vote for that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said it was kind of like tough because I could see one side of it, but overall, I mean, it's not real life.
It's just sad that we're in the place where people have to feel like that.
And and we don't. I just don't want us to go backwards.
And the fact that the group came out and looked at it, wanted to attack it versus being like, okay, well,
why do y'all feel that way?
Yeah,
right.
What
like
can
instead
we
of
do
attacking
to
it,
fix
saying, you know what? How about we don't do that, but maybe we create a building for people to feel safe or something.
Or
like
they
that.
say, what are we doing that's making you feel that way?
Right.
And what can we do to help you not feel that way?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because that would be the more awesome thing. But everybody wants to know, well, I'm white and I could have a white dorm and y'all would call me a racist. Yes, I would, because you would be racist for that. So I just don't, whatever. Anyway, good luck, guys. That's sad because you're there for an education and the fact that you even have to think
about that.
The worry about that stress among everything else.
It sucks. Like, you made it to college and it's expensive as hell, and you gotta, and you pay. If you living on campus, it's even more
really expensive. Right.
In California.
Right.
And then you gotta worry about, can y'all just open a dorm for us by ourselves? Because it's it's hard out there for a minute. Like, that's ridiculous.
I'm just trying to go to math class and I'm being harassed. Can I just go to the student union?
But then is that going to stop that? That's why it's like, is that really a solution? Because like, if you're being harassed in class,
now they're going to know exactly where to go.
Where all the black folks are. They're all in that building. Like that sounds like that brings horrible imagery to my brain immediately of things that could happen just for them being in that building all at the same. Like
that's scary.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
All right.
Come on, Cal State. Thanks.
Good luck with that.
Good luck.
We'll be reporting on that some more and let you guys get some updates on what happens with that. Another person who made the news this week, which is also our last story, is P. Diddy. He just came off of the Bad Boy reunion.
Bad Boy.
In New York, and I can't wait to come to LA because I'm gonna go see it. But
get us all tickets, Dario. Can we go with you?
We'll work on that. We'll see what happens with that. Well, he
used
was
to be your peoples.
I'll get my black folks together. My black folks. So he sat down with Al Sharpton this week on MSNBC, and they were talking about obviously the election, which was what everybody's talking about. And Diddy had some words to say about Obama as well as Hillary Clinton and as well as for black people as far as like what they should do for this race. And as we recall, Diddy was really heavily into vote or die and really into politics and really pushed younger kids to vote and and was kind of a spokesperson with Russell Simmons and a couple other celebrities to really make that happen. And I think they even what I read was the percentage of like 18 to 24-year-olds grew tremendously because he was out there
getting
campaigning for vote and die. Well, when he was sitting down with Reverend R. Sharpton, they were talking about obviously the candidates and all the things that Trump's saying and what Hillary Clinton's saying, and basically he was Diddy was talking about the fact that black people have been the ones that have moved the meter as far as like putting Obama in the office. So he was saying that, he said there was no really diss for Obama. He felt like Obama could basically did what he could do, but he felt like, basically he felt shortchanged by Obama being in office. He felt like there was a lot of policies that he was hoping would change and just life for black people as a whole would change. And he feels like that didn't happen. So now we have someone like Hillary Clinton who's coming in and making these promises. He said he doesn't buy the fact of her going and sitting with the mothers of the shooting victims, and he had a lot of things to say about that. And this is what he actually said in reference to Obama specifically, and then I'll read the Hillary Clinton stuff. He said, "I feel like we put President Obama in the White House. When I look back, I just wanted more done for my people because that's the name of the game. This is politics. You put somebody in office, you get in return the things that you care about for your community. I think we got a little bit shortchanged. That's not knocking the president. He's done an excellent job, but I think it's time to turn up the heat because black voters are the ones who are going to decide who's next for the presidency." So he and Al Sharpton had a little banter back and forth with it, and he basically said that black people should hold their votes, that they should not vote. Because he's saying that if we don't vote, then they'll see the power of what we're doing and that what we say really counts. So what do you think about that?
I'm just like listening to that philosophy. I can't, as a music head, just go back. I'm like, what do you know about politics, like, for real? Like, honestly, like, I don't know. Maybe you do know quite a lot. But I'm just like, if you run anything the way you run your company, because the only person that benefits from that is you and Cassie, apparently, because I'm just sitting here like, anyone that sat and put you as the president, we're day 26, Danny Kane, I mean, they sitting over here thinking the same thing about
Donnie?
you.
Let's
you know
take
what
it back.
I'm
Where's
saying?
Donnie?
First of all, why even go to Donnie? We could go past all that.
Donnie.
Y'all remember Donnie?
So I'm just like,
Had a thought in there.
to put all that on Obama, President Obama, is just like, brother, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Congratulations, you got 6 years. We're going to put this school out. I'm excited to see that. And I know you do here and there.
He did open the Harlem Charter.
Give to charity.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So my thing is to sit there and put it on President Obama as if he can just magically wave a wand and anything that I promised and made happen will come true. It's just so interesting to me that he could flip it in that way. Not that he really said it in a negative light, but it's just kind of like, really, like, out of all the quotes that you wanted to say, I don't know, it just seemed very unsupportive.
Unfortunately, a lot of people feel that way, who are African American, who voice that, and I'm with you, Jesse. I don't feel like, I'm not saying you don't need to tell your opinion, but I feel like we need to support what he has done and the challenges that he's endured to get those things done. But Courtney, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't cut me off. It's okay. So, Diddy, your argument falls flat for this reason. So you say that we showed them that our vote matters because we put Obama in the White House. So they already know our vote matters and we still didn't get shit.
True.
So you saying that if we hold our vote, they'll know our vote matters, and then we'll finally, next round, get something? Mm-hmm. Like, they already know our vote matters because you just said it mattered because we put Obama in the White House. So your argument falls flat completely from the top, number one. Number two, instead of saying don't vote, you knew who the candidates were, last summer? Why didn't you put your effort into finding a candidate you could support?
I was going to say
and make the black vote count that way and try to put him in the White House that way. The reason you didn't do that is because it's not just the black vote that puts somebody in the White House. Yes, it will affect who goes in the White House in this round because it could shift it either way, but it's not just the black vote because there's just not enough of us to begin with. So if you actually care, or I don't want to say that, I do believe you care, and I do believe you mean
cares.
well.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
say don't. Okay, sorry. Once again, we can just fall back on the basic history. Too many people got ate up by dogs and blown over by water hoses and set on fire so that I have the right to vote. And it's upsetting to me that if you are that passionate about how terrible our two choices are now, why you weren't doing more before now to make these not our only two options. And I'm not saying you can move mountains and you can do anything, but I think your efforts would have been much more appreciated back then than they're being appreciated right now, because what you're trying to do now is only, to me, opening the door for God knows what to be in the White House. Wow. And I'll just leave it at that.
Scary thing.
So to me, that's really disappointing and really upsetting and very contradictory to what you say you believed in, which is why you were pushing people to vote years ago. And I get it, things change and politics change, and you should know that and be aware of that. There's way more effective ways for you to affect change than to tell people not to vote. Get these people together and get a lobby together, or start to affect the gun lobby in some way, or affect pharmaceutical lobby in some way, people that have major financial power in Washington. You can move around way differently than just in the presidential election, and it's disappointing that was what you came up with.
Yeah, I mean, to add to more of his reasons behind it, he said the heat has to be turned up so much that as a community, we go on to hold our vote. Diddy said, don't pacify yourself. Really revolutionize the game. Make them come for our vote. It's a whole different strategy, but I think we need to hold out our vote because I don't believe any of them. So I'm thinking he's talking about the candidates.
Fine, but what you holding to vote? What about all the congressional elections that come up at the same time? We're still voting for senators and representatives and mayors and governors and all. Don't vote? That's the message you want out there? I don't get it. I don't trust you. That made no sense. Right. That doesn't even kind of make sense to me. I think you're amazing, and I'm sure you do great things, but I'm very saddened.
I'm still going to go to the tour, the reunion tour.
Hey, you bad boy all day. It'll be fun. It's great. But
we ain't going nowhere.
That's really sad to me. That's really sad to me.
I like the idea more of what you're saying, Courtney, as far as this was what I was thinking too, of having him bring someone in who, kind of Oprah endorsed Obama at the beginning. Yeah. You know what I mean? So find a candidate who you're endorsing.
From the Fugees.
Prize from the Fugees, yeah. Because when I was looking at statistics, and the Census Bureau reported that in the 2012 election, it made history because 66% of they found more than 66% of eligible blacks voted in the presidential race. Only 64.1% of whites turned out to the vote.
Yeah, so we're showing up finally.
We know, that's what I'm saying. We got the power already.
So to turn that backwards and get people to it was hard enough to get them to just show up to begin with. Now we're showing up. That's only more power. That don't kill momentum. We could keep moving forward in that regard. And I get feeling like you're being taken advantage of by.
But educate why you feel that way. If you're going to use a platform like that, educate why you specifically feel that way versus generalizing it, because you have a lot of young kids who are listening to you, and so when you just generalize something, they take that quote.
Don't vote. Yeah. It don't matter no way.
And they don't understand the content.
The content behind it, and then also you can't go from vote or die, where you're encouraging all these kids to do this, to saying don't vote. That's completely opposite. So all right, well. On that note,
happy weekend,
all
y'all.
the topics we got today.
Vote, y'all.
Vote.
Don't listen to that bullshit.
You should vote. Don't hold out your vote, but make your vote count, though. Make your vote count.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So.
I don't know. I love you.
Whatever. All right, Jesse, where can fans find you?
Boom, everywhere at DJ Jesse J.
Courtney, where can fans find you?
Everywhere at Stuart Starlet.
And you can find me at Dario Kristen on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And it was a lot of fun today, y'all.
It was fun.
We'll see you again next week with some great topics. And have a great weekend.
Bye.
Peace.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.